wanted to invite you into our story hour. The girls and I typically read a story in the morning or at night right before bed. So we thought it would be a great idea to have you all come along with us and share a story. The story that I'm going to be reading today is called Amazing Grace. And this is a story that is by Mary Hoffman and Binch. It's a very interesting story about a girl that actually looks like my girls. And I'm sure some of your daughters or sons. And whether your child per se looks like ours or not, we still want to invite you into this hour because it has a wonderful message that can help us all. Okay? So if you would like to hear this story, stay tuned.
I've been dreaming. I've been dreaming. I've been dreaming. I've been dreaming. I've been dreaming.
Alright, so today, girls, we're going to be reading Amazing Grace, and this is by Mary Hoffman and Binch.
Okay. Wow.
This is our title page.
I like that actually. I like the it's the same girl.
Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her or told to her or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books or movies or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out. And she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider.
She does like spiders.
Mm-hmm.
I like spiders.
She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. Now, based on what we've read so far, how could we describe this main character, Grace?
She has a big
Raise your hand before you respond. All right, let's go with Maddie.
She's creative.
We can say she's very creative. Yes, Tim?
She has a big imagination.
She also has a very big imagination. Ava, you want to share? How do we know she's creative?
Because she plays stories out.
She's always playing out or acting out different characters, right? Okay, let's keep reading. Good job, girls. She was Hawaitha sitting by the shiny big sea water and Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Why do you think she's having to play out all these stories just with her cat? You might tell me. How about you, Ellie?
Because she's princess and she tells stories.
Yeah, but why is she acting them all out just with her cat? Maddie?
It's the only pet she has.
It's the only pet she has, but let's think. Let's make a connection to you all. How is she different from you?
She doesn't really have a sister.
She doesn't have any sisters, so you're pretty fortunate, right? She doesn't have sisters,
That's a sister.
right? But you do. So Grace tends to have to just play with her cat or act out stories, and that is our sister's name, Grace, yes. She's having to act these stories out because she doesn't have sisters. So you all are very fortunate to have sisters.
Because if she had sisters, it would be more easier for them to act.
Yes, she could act them out with her sisters. Yes, you have boots, yes.
She got cattle.
All right, let's listen, girls. Sit down, Grace. Wait for you to sit down. Thank you. Sometimes she could get Mama and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said that they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter Pan. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan. So we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. What do you think the problem is that has come into play in the story now? What is a possible problem? What is a potential problem that we're seeing here in the story? Let's go with Noelle. Let's see if you know.
Because her teacher told her to do stuff that she's supposed to do.
Her teacher's asking them to do things that they're supposed to do. Okay. How about you, Maddie?
The problem,
Okay, good thought.
The problem is that the boy keeps telling her that you can't be Peter Pan, and the girl said you can't be Peter Pan because you're not white, but she kept her hand up. People have doubts in her.
Yeah, so people have doubts that she can't do it because she's not a boy and because she's not the right color in their minds. Okay, let's continue to read to see how the problem is solved. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Mom. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Mom. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to be."
I don't want it.
You remember me? Okay. Grace cheered up. Then later she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Mom looked angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." Do we agree with what Grandma told her?
Yes.
One Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and a train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet in sparkling lights. "Are we going to the ballet, Nana?" asked Grace. "We are, honey, but first I want you to look at this picture." Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning New Juliet." What was so fascinating about what they saw in the picture? Let's go with Ava.
She's black and beautiful.
Who they saw in the picture was African American, and she was also very beautiful. Yes, Noelle?
Because she's a queen.
But why did that make Grace so excited, you think?
Because
Taylor?
she's black and
Because she's black, because she looked like her. "That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad," said Nana. "Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time, I said yes." After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. "I can be anything I want," she thought. One Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. "You were fantastic," whispered Natalie. So here she did what?
She
proved
that she was worthy.
She proved that she was worthy. She proved herself.
Because Mom got no sisters.
She doesn't have any sisters. She even proved Natalie wrong. So everyone that thought that she couldn't do it, she proved to them that she could. The play was a big success and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, "I feel as if I could fly all the way home." "You probably could," said Mom. "Yes," said Nana. "If Grace put her mind to it, she could do anything she wants." Yeah, baby.
What she do on the side, she fly all the sky.
Yeah, she can fly to the sky. Isn't she beautiful?
That was a good book.
And that was actually the end of the book. So let me ask you this. What is a good lesson that from this story, Amazing Grace? Taylor.
I think a good lesson is that no matter what people say, just keep going and make sure you know that you can do anything.
Right, that you can do anything. Don't let what people say stop you. Yes, Noelle?
Because people is afraid of, and that boy won't leave her alone.
That boy wouldn't leave her alone. He wasn't so nice. But did she let that stop her, Noelle? Did she let him be mean to her stop her?
No.
No, she didn't let it stop her. Yes, Maddie?
She kept practicing until she got it right.
She kept practicing until she got it right. So what I want you beautiful girls to know is that no matter your color, no matter your gender, no matter the challenge or the deficit, you can do whatever you set your mind and your heart to do. And even if people tell you no, you do not let that no stop you. You keep going, you keep trying, you keep practicing, and you can actually surprise yourself. You never know what you can do until you try, right? All right, girls, so I want you all to just look into the camera and I want you to tell every girl, every boy out there that may be facing a challenge, that may have someone that's telling them that they can't do it, even in themselves may feel like they can't do it. I want you to look out there and tell them that you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. If you put your mind to it.
If you put your mind to it. If you put your mind to Jesus. You put your thought to mine. So, all you boys and girls out there, if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. Even no matter what another person says.
All right, bye guys.
Bye! Subscribe to our channel!
And comment down below what you think about the story.
And what you think about God. And you think about mommy.
All right, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye!